Look at how bright that sucker's getting now.
I know, it's crazy.
It's getting darker. Alright, just got another, I think I put on my 44th layer of bug dope. So hopefully I can get through another email here and not get all my blood sucked out. Alright, here we go, listen to this one. Hello Steve, I'm a recent viewer of your YouTube channel over the past few months. My mom found you and told me you tell Bigfoot stories, among other amazing stories. I have a few stories, not too exciting, but stories I want to share. I've always been highly interested in Bigfoot because I was born and raised in what I will call the greatest place to grow, Plumas National Forest, California. As, quote, wild children, end quote, my brother and I would always run around the woods with no fear. We had fun, but had a major respect for the wilderness because it was instilled in us very young that the woods can also be dangerous. So we were always cautious, but still very wild and carefree. Anyway, we knew what bear tracks looked like. We knew what their sounds, scratches, and grunts. We even had a family of bear raid our community dumpster what seemed like weekly. We've had them on our porch during a barbecue. So my point is, we were very familiar with the bears in the woods. Black bears to be specific. In that neck of the woods, animals are everywhere. Mountain lions have been known to eat the neighborhood cats, bobcats are there too, among deer and other critters. But they all avoid people for the most part. I feel like my brother and I always had a solid connection with the forest because we were always okay. I never felt uneasy or threatened, ever. I always thought it's because we share native blood, and that connects you to nature like no other. I've always held my small bit of native blood very high. It's helped me keep my head strong, especially living in the woods. Getting off track, sorry. So I had a nephew born into my life at 14, and I became his protector as well as friend. I showed him the woods as much as I could, tried to teach him what was taught. We spent most of our summer days playing by the Feather River that ran right by our house alongside Highway 70. Our favorite game was throwing rocks in the water. He was maybe 3 or 4 at the time, which made me about 16 or 17. Just another day going to the river. We were both barefoot as usual and took off down to our spot. We went down a ways from the house on a bend in the river where you can say pretty much see the entire corner of this mountain we lived on and the road above. We began our rock throwing and enjoying our time. My nephew was having a blast as usual. We were there for maybe 20 minutes when I kinda got a strange feeling like something was nearby. Before I could really process my feeling, I heard a grunt, like a grown man just letting out a huff, real low. My immediate thought was, it's a effing bear. I stepped towards my nephew to keep him safe and gently turned around to do a scan of my surroundings, looking along the road above us first and then a full circle view around us and down the river's edge. I turned so slow there's no way I couldn't see an effing bear if it made that noise close enough for me to hear. I didn't see anything. I know my woods. I know there are trees. I know where the trees are and when something is out of place. I didn't see shit. Something told me to get the F back home. I grabbed up my little nephew and started walking swiftly back home. As soon as I could see the house, I told my nephew to hang on, and I took off running. We went home and I told my brother, and he said, I know, there's something out there. It chased me home one night. I said, what the hell? He said, yeah. I was walking home from one of the neighbors one night, about 9ish, and he heard something next to him in the woods. He took off running, and he said it was a distinctive 2-foot chasing him. He got home freaked out and never said anything. Later that week, it's all I could think about, but I wasn't scared. More interested. I have mad respect for all creatures in the woods, so it's just another being we had to be aware of. Then I have this nightmare that still scares the shit out of me. We live by the river, so you have to cross a bridge to get over the community from the highway. All of us kids would have to walk that bridge to catch the bus for school. There's a specific tree off to one side that's always been there. Never thought anything weird of it. It's just a tree. In my dream, I'm walking across the bridge for whatever reason, and I hear the same grunt. I look up, and there's this being in the V of the tree. With one hand holding one side of the tree, he's swaying back and forth just watching me. It seemed like forever. I just stood there as this thing taunted me almost, and just watching me. I freaked out, wake up in a sweat, and terrified to even look out my window. That's when I knew it was for real. For some odd reason, I listen to my body in my dreams, and it feels off. It is. So every day for school, I have to see this tree, and that's all I can think about. I wonder if there is a mind game being played, like just letting me know, hey, I'm real, I'm here. But again, I never felt threatened. I've always wanted to see one just for my own proof, but I truly think I'd shit myself if I ever did see one. That dream was the most real one I've ever had. I moved from there shortly after graduation, but I always go back every summer. I recently went there to spread some ashes of a dear friend. Me and 3 other friends went hiking in this area. We always called the Cascades, surrounded by trees, mountains, and river flowing on one side. There's this one particular spot at the beginning of the trail I've never had a good feeling in. It's a heavy feeling, like you're carrying a pack that's 50 pounds overweight. I mentioned it on our way in, and nobody really paid attention. I'm always rattling off weird feelings as we walked on. I felt the classic someone's watching me feeling. I always have my hair in a braid, but it was held in a bun that morning. I slowly let my hair down, showing my braid, hoping it was a sign of, hey, I know you're here. I am a native, and I mean no harm. I'm just laying a friend to rest. I kept my eyes peeled, but never saw or heard anything. On our way back out, my pregnant friend mentioned a weird feeling, and we were in the same spot. I said, I told you. The next evening, I stayed with my aunt and uncle up at Lake Almanor. This is Lawson Forest, which is where I'd go every weekend to visit my grandmother. It's another very familiar area not too far from my childhood home in the Plumas. I was outside enjoying the mountain air. I don't get to enjoy much anymore. It was well before dusk, but near when I heard it was well before dusk, but near when I heard what sounded like whooping. My heart dropped. What the F? 3 whoops at a time. I know the whole neighborhood heard it. It did it in 3 sets. It did it in sets of 3, I think 3 times in a row. I was so shocked to be hearing this, I lost track of count. Then it stopped. From where I was sitting, it sounded like it came from the middle of the residential area, which was even weirder. Even in this spot of the woods, you're not allowed to have any livestock, chickens or pigs, nothing. You can have dogs and cats, but this wasn't a dog or a cat. I was going over the sounds in my head like, what the F could that have been? A mountain lion? A bear? No way. And especially this close to houses and damn near only 5 o'clock? I didn't ask my aunt or your uncle, I just left it be. I know in my heart what it was, and out of respect, I leave him alone. I hold great love for nature and outdoors, but I won't go out in my car at night when I'm up there anymore. And I definitely keep an eye open when I'm hiking. I apologize for the length of this email, but it just kind of flowed out. You can share or not share. I know you have a busy life and a shit ton of emails to read every day amongst your other duties. I don't mind my name being used, as I don't give a shit what others think either, and anyone who lives in that area knows these beings are there. I also apologize for my language. It's not very ladylike, but in my neck of the woods it's how we communicate. I'm pretty sure that's how we all communicate. It's okay. Thank you for listening. Keep doing what you do. You're a badass, and we need more men like you in this world. Take care, your friend, Renee. All right, Renee. Thanks for sharing that. Thanks for using your name. And, yeah, nobody cares what anybody thinks. The second you stop caring what anybody thinks is the second you start to win in life. And that goes across the board with anything. Humans are probably the most insecure herd animal running around the face of the planet, man. Humans are very, very insecure. I don't know why. It's too bad, but it causes a lot of grief in society. But it is what it is. But anyway, I don't doubt for a second what you heard. I've heard it. Many other people have heard these things. And as far as the dream goes, that kind of sucks. I've had some alarming dreams in the past. But what do you do, right? Just keep on going on. And you live the shit out of this lifetime as best you can. But anyway, there's another one. You want me to share one with everybody on here? You want to share one with everybody? Just email it to sharemystory@howtohunt.com or tell my story at howtohunt.com. And if I survive these mosquitoes for another 24 hours, then I'll probably be able to post these on YouTube.